The Cincinnati Reds lead the Western Division by 7 games. The whole town is gaga about Lou Piniella's Reds. And the Chicago Cubs are trying to cool them off. They forget it's only May. They're thinking ahead to the playoffs here in Cincinnati. I want to remind them a 7-game lead in May is not a 7-game lead in September.
Terry, this team is great offensively. They're hitting .299, but the good news, Mariano Duncan hitting .400 is not playing. He's serving a 1-game suspension. So maybe Maddux can get number 5 tonight.
Well, Ron Oster, always he's been a fine second baseman. I imagine he's chafing at the bit and not having an opportunity to play more. Greg Maddux goes for his 5th victory of the year. He has lost 1. His earned run average of brilliant, 1.96 for the Reds. Sabo at third, Whittingham at center, Larkin at short, Bensinger at first, O'Neill in right, catcher in left, Oster at second, Oliver the catcher, and 22-year-old Scott Scudder, who's won 1 loss run and a very impressive earned run average of 1.23. And we're ready to play ball on a lovely, although cool evening here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati.
There you look at the best defense to this point in the National League, the Cincinnati Reds.
Smash right field base hit. Scudder need not worry about a no-hitter. Jerome Walton leads off the ball game with a single to right.
Here's where the Cubs have to be careful because Joe Oliver is slowly becoming just about the best throwing catcher in the National League. In fact, he's gunned down 13 of the 24 runners trying to steal. That pencils out to 54%. He's picked a man off first base at 54%, well above the league average, which was right around 37%.
Boy, this, the Cubs have a lot of stolen bases. So have these Reds. They've swiped 45 out of 56 attempts. There's a drive. Way back. It might be in the wall. Oh, it's over. A home run. A home run. That's the 5th home run of the year, and just like that, the Cubs are out in front, 2-0.
Let's take a look at it once again. Ryan Sandberg, RBIs number 16 and 17. Now he's looking at Billy Hatcher.
Now watch him. He looks again right there. And Hatcher, the Academy Award. It looked like he was going to catch the ball, but it's over. You knew it when you saw the bounce. The Reds, fine organization. Brad Del Barba, who's the coordinator of minor leagues and scouting, wants to wish quick recovery to our good friend Jose Cardinal, who works in their farm system. Former Cub. Cardinal suffered a fractured skull during spring training, and he's watching tonight's game back in Chicago. And not only do the Reds wish him well, but so do we. And the Cubs. There's a high pop fly. Catches there. Makes the count. Here's Andre Dawson hitting .322. 1 ball, no strike. Luis Quinones of the Reds wants to be remembered to all the home folks in Puerto Rico, as does their coach, Tony Perez. There's a drive. Way back. It might be. It is another home run. Holy cow. Dawson takes to the air. 3-0 in favor of the Cubs.
RBI number 24, and with that home run, Andre Dawson moves to 5th on the all-time opponent home run list in this ballpark. Johnny Bench heads that list, but Andre, with 19 home runs here in Cincinnati, pitchers depart early as Tim Burtsis up and throwing. King-size left-hander acquired from the Oakland A's. And we'll take a look at Andre Dawson. Loving that high fastball. A line drive rocket over the head of Billy Hatcher. He just looks up. And it's gone.
Would you say that Andre Dawson hits off his back foot or his front foot?
To me, like he hits off his back foot.
Yeah, well, that's why he gets so much power, I imagine.
He's so strong here. You know, most great hitters have the great, strong wrist and can pop the bat at the last instant, like Billy Williams. Andre Dawson falls into that category. He is pretty quick inside.
Quick throw, he's back.
And now with the knees healthy, he's able to get some leverage. You know, last year he was really hurting. He couldn't push off. Right now he's pushing up as well as he ever had.
Fouled out of play. You know, the Reds have swiped 45 bases. They've been thrown out only 11 times. The opponents against the Reds have stolen only 13 bases while being thrown out 15 times. Well, that's pretty impressive.
This pitching staff is third in the league coming into this game with a 3.09 ERA. The reason why you're 19-16 is that opposing pitchers have a 4.75 ERA against the Cincinnati offense, which has just been dominating all year. A lot of people credit Lou Piniella with the turnaround this year. Different managing style than Pete Rose.
Well, what they forget is the Cincinnati ball club the last 5 years has had outstanding talent. And many people thought they could have won a couple of times. They finished second, I believe. So they've had a lot of talent.
They were just decimated by injuries last year. This was a very talented team, and it all fell apart.
1 ball, 2 strikes. There goes the runner. There's the bag. In the center field, there goes Dwight Smith on his way to third. Well, there you go. You praise him in a certain department of the game, and right away, the Cubs steal a base, and Oliver makes a bad throw, gets an error, and Dwight Smith's the third.
4th stolen base of the year for Dwight Smith, and 2nd error of the year for Joe Oliver. This turns out to be an off-balance throw. He shifted his weight a little early. He came out over the right-handed bat, and it was a terrible throw.
Now the infield comes in. All right, Curtis, get it over their head. Foul tipped it. Myers took that one off the hand. Whoa, whoa, he's hurt. And here comes the trainer out in a hurry. Trainer Larry Starr.
Just one of the many Cincinnati Reds homegrown ball players, Joe Oliver. And he's in tremendous pain. Lou Piniella coming out to have a look now.
Oh, he's in pain. Oh, wow, look at that grimace.
This is a big, strong man at 6'3", 215 pounds. But when you get that throwing hand in the way of a foul tip, you don't have much protection. That's why guys like Randy Hundley were pioneers of the one-handed catching style, where you keep the throwing hand out of the way and catch the ball with the other hand.
He's in pain. He's not going to be able to continue. Reed, I think, may come down out of the bullpen. And Joe Oliver. One of the reasons Lou Piniella says that the Reds are off and running, the unexpectedly great showing of this youngster. Piniella, in contrast to Lou Piniella, the ball player, was a really hyper guy, intense. He's kind of laid back as a manager. He just preaches have fun. Go out there, do the best you can, enjoy yourself, have fun. And maybe that's really paying off for him. I guess he could develop that at the Yankee Stadium, working for George Steinbrenner.
He's got a great situation here because he came to a loaded ball club that was a classic case of underachievement last year due to injuries. But there was no doubt that everybody who evaluated talent in the National League said the Cincinnati Reds ball club had as much, if not more, talent than anyone. But with everybody hurt, seemingly all within a month of one another, you can't do much. They lost Larkin, they lost Sabo, they lost O'Neill, they lost Davis, they lost Danny Jackson, lost Jose Rio. So this was a team that didn't have anybody to play the game. But now they're all healthy, except for Davis, who's about 2 weeks away. And they're showing right now what everybody thought about their club. They can play. And Lou, the beneficiary of a great situation, coming in with a good attitude, and they respect him.
Well, you have to like him. He was an intense competitor as a ball player and a great hitter. And I imagine with Tony Perez and Lou Piniella, they have all the hitting instructors and the hitting coaches that they could possibly want.
Mariano Duncan credits Tony Perez with teaching him a lot about how to hit. And Chris Sabo said it was part Perez and part Piniella.
All right, the infield's in. Jeff Reed behind the plate. A bouncing ball. Here's a runner going to score. The throw to first in time. Boy, that was a contact. As soon as he touched the ball, Dwight Smith broke for the plate. And Oster made the stop, looked at home, knew he didn't have a play, and retired the batter. And Wilkerson gets his 6th run batted in.
On the artificial surface, it's very hard in front of home plate. And the key to this was recognizing the high hop. As soon as that ball went up in the air, there was no chance to get the fleet Dwight Smith. Piniella wants to nurse Scudder through this first inning. He certainly does not want to get into that bullpen this early. You still have 2 games left in the series after tonight. And the last thing you want to do is tax the pen if you don't have to.
Now ready? The delivery. There's a drive. Way back. It might be. It's from Cincinnati. Another home run. Holy cow. And the Thom fans are having an early chance. Somehow, Scudder shakes his head. He cannot believe it. And that is Dunston. 6th home run of the year. And 17 runs batted in. How about those potatoes? And here comes Lou Piniella. 5-0 Cubs. Holy cow.
Another high fastball and another towering home run. And in comes Tim Burtis. A very short night for Scott Scudder. In fact, it's not even dark yet.
Well, you can see all your favorite Cubs. You see them all. Congratulating Sean Dunston. Tim Burtis, big 6'8" left-hander. Hot shot right at the third baseman. Sabo's got it. Over to first. That retires the side. But the Cubs score 5 runs on 4 hits. 3 of them home runs. We go in the bottom of the first. Greg Maddux will have a 5-0 lead. Chris Sabo hitting .354. 6 homers. 15 RBI.
Greg Maddux making his 6th start of the year, his first against the Reds. He's looking for Major League victory number 50 tonight. 4-4 lifetime against Cincinnati with a .425 ERA in 9 games.
Scudder's brilliant earned run average 1.23. He didn't like it. He lasted 2/3 of an inning. His earned run average will never be 1.23 again.
Not for a long time.
The pitch. Bouncing ball. Wilkerson has it. Throws to first. He got him. And Sabo can really go down that line.
Whose surgically repaired knee probably has taken a step away from that great speed that he came into the league with just a couple of years ago.
Well, I don't know about that. He's tried to steal 8 times this year. He's only been successful 7 times.
Oh, I didn't say he wasn't a good base runner.
The pitch. Herm Winningham.
Platooning in center field with Rolando Rooms until Eric Davis gets back and healthy again.
Bouncing ball. Grace backs up. 3-1 again. Boy, they got that play down to perfection. Barry Larkin. He was hurt a lot last year. Hitting .343. Good strike call.
He said he doesn't think about power anymore. Hasn't hit a home run this year, but he still has some pop. A couple of years ago, he decided to start hitting the ball out of the park, and that batting average started to sink.
Now a ground ball is sharply hit. Wilkerson throws. 1, 2, 3. At the end of 1, the Cubs 5, the Reds nothing. The pitch. Maddux hasn't had a hit this year, 0 for 14. He usually leads the pitchers in total hits. Burtsis breaks the curve over. He struck him out. There's a drive. Way back. Near the left center field wall. It'll be caught. Billy Hatcher pulls it down. Caray and Steve Stone. Bensinger hits the first pitch hard. The left field for a hit. Bouncing ball. Right field. A nice hit by O'Neill. Runners run at first and second. Nobody out. And here's former Cub, 29-year-old outfielder Billy Hatcher.
Hatcher has 12 infield hits, including 5 bunts this year. General manager Bob Quinn looks to Hatcher as one of the real big additions to this team. He says that Hatcher has given him leadership. He's given him great speed. He's also given him a man who's hitting .357 in the early going.
1 homer, 5 RBIs. Just missed an extra base hit down the right field line.
Hatcher came up with the Cubs, but really came into his own in Houston. In 1987, he hit .296, swiped 53 bases that year for the Astros.
Fouled it out of play down the other line. 0-2 way ahead of him now. He's hit safely, batting .500 in his last 4 games.
Tim Leana working in the bullpen.
Come on, attaboy. Nice pitch, Greg. That's first breaking ball I think he's thrown. And he saved it for a good spot on Hatcher and struck him out. Here's Ron Oster.
That was a good, hard-breaking slider. Watch the location. Girardi wants it away, and Maddux breaks off a dandy. The outside portion of the plate, completely fooling Hatcher.
Leilani. You sure that's on the song?
Sweet Leilani?
Yeah. The pitch to Oster. Bouncing ball. It is fouled down the first base line.
Mariano Duncan had an altercation with home plate umpire Mark Hirschbeck. That night he was at third base, and he called Duncan out on a head-first slide. Looked like the hand was in there. Duncan didn't like the call, and Sam Perlazzo couldn't keep them apart. So Duncan was fined an undisclosed amount and suspended for 1 game. And that game, tonight's game. So Oster getting a look.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Oster's had only 19 at-bats this year. He was the incumbent for many years here in Cincinnati.
Base hit, left field. Here comes the runner around third. They're going to hold him up. And the bases are loaded. Ground ball. Wilkerson up throws the second for 1 out. But by fumbling the ball, he lost the double play that Maddux is hoping for. And they pick up a run. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Gotten 6 out of the 7 men he's faced.
Lou Piniella knows if he can get the game to his short reliever, he's got a leg up on the National League. He's got 3 men down there who throw the ball 95 miles an hour each.
And boy, they're easy to name off. Rob Dibble, Norm Charlton, and Randy Myers.
Call it the Nasty Boys here in Cincinnati. Each one's stuff is nastier than the next. They are most intimidating.
2 balls and the strike. Ground ball. That'll be hit that one off the end of his bat. Easy out. We wasted a big opportunity. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go in the bottom of the third. 5-1 Cubs. With Steve Stone and Thom Brennaman, Caray back at Riverfront Stadium. First pitch, Sabo grounds out to Dunston. There's Gregory Hines, the movie star, great dancer with his boy there keeping score. I don't know about that earring.
I think you'd look good in an earring like that, Eric.
Why does it hang down from the ear?
That's the style.
Well, a lot of guys wear earrings that aren't his style then. Hey, what a dancer. Remember Cotton Club?
Yes, I do, and he was outstanding in it.
He and his brother. There's the first pitch in there, strike ball. Herm Winningham. I gotta have to take him under my wing and teach him a step.
Right. He could have never done that commercial you did. I know that.
Here's a bunt. Who's gonna cover first? Nobody's there.
Well, we talked earlier about Herm Winningham loving to push the ball by the pitcher and then beating everyone to the bag. And that time when Maddux missed it, Grace had to hang back and there was nobody to cover first. The key here is bunting it hard enough to get it by Maddux, who's a fine fielding pitcher. And no chance. A base hit for Winningham.
That will bring up Barry Larkin, who bounced out sharply to the third baseman, Wilkerson. Throw to first, runner back.
Larkin hurt his elbow at the All-Star game, and he was troubled by it the rest of the year. So he said he went on a strengthening program in the wintertime. He feels his elbow is better than it was at any time last year, and he's looking for a healthy 1990.
Bouncing ball, it's a base hit in the left field. Cut off by Sean Dunston. That ball was not hit hard, but off this AstroTurf, it took a high hop and Clint Wilkinson's head.
That's the real hard dirt in front of home plate. You can see how a couple of balls have reacted. That's one of the reasons Tony Perez, the hitting instructor, has taught most of these Reds to start hitting down on the ball. Don't try to hit the ball out of the park. This is a very lively park anyway. And you'll get the home runs, but you'll get many more base hits off this hard infield. Great speed on the bases for the Reds. Winningham.
The only man with only average speed is the batter, Bensinger. Hopefully he hits the ball on the ground. There it is. Ground ball to bat fly. 3-1 again. The runners advance to second and third. Boy, the broken bat sailed all the way to first base. Look at the coach over there. Now here's Paul O'Neill with 2 homers, 22 RBI. Singled his first time. 3-2 pitch. There's the drive. Way back. It might be. It could be. He made the catch. Holy cow. He made the catch. Jerome Morton. What a sensational play. And then he got hooked up on a fence. He made a sensational catch. And the Reds are down without scoring. 2 hits, 2 left. Thom Brennaman will be along in a moment. Caray wins Cincinnati. At the end of 3, the Cubs 5. The Reds 1.
What a tremendous play by Jerome Walton.
It saved the Cubs and Maddux 3 runs, and you're not going to see many better than that.
No, you are not. Paul O'Neill, the man that hit it a long way, but only to be robbed by Jerome Walton.
Tim Burtz is doing the job holding the Cubs at bay in his offense, which has been just unbelievable all year, trying to fight back in this one.
So leading it off, it'll be Sean Dunston here in the Cubs' 4th inning. Sean Dunston lifts a base hit into center field, and the Cubs shortstop is a perfect 2 for 2.
So many pitchers in the league these days, to combat the rash of stolen bases, they've gone to almost no leg kick. Burtz with what they call a slide step, not lifting that front leg, but just kind of sliding it toward the hitter. There's a quick throw, but Dunston back. So the National League getting much more aggressive these days, and pitchers have got to make an adjustment.
Well, you have to believe Don Zimmer is also aware of the fact that Joe Oliver is out of the ball game, and he's a man who's gunned down. Over 50% of men trying to steal against him, including the likes of Coleman and McGee in one game against the Redbirds. 2-1.
Could be a big blow to the Reds because Oliver, one of their many homegrown products, was really coming of age this year. And a lot of people compared him to the best throwing catcher the Reds have had since Johnny Bench.
The pitch. Bouncing ball to Larkin. Tough play. Bobbles, and he won't be able to come up with it.
Little charity here in Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
That certainly looked like a play that Larkin should have made, at least getting one out. But they're crediting Joe Girardi with a base hit. He'll certainly take it. Maybe that's how the Reds are leading the National League with only 12 errors this year, with calls like that.
Very good chance. Jim Fry's old buddy, the official scorer here. Old Western Hills High graduating me.
Now you've got a bunt situation for Maddux, who's laid down a couple of sacrifices this year. And if you had a choice, you'd like to bunt it at Chris Sabo at third. But watch the pickoff play at second.
Here's a pitch, and he slaps the ball to the second baseman Oster. So he gets the job done. Showing bunt, but then swinging away. Runners advance to second and third.
Good play for the team, and it cost Maddux an at-bat instead of a sacrifice, but the same result. Used to be called Butcher Boy. All you did was show bunt and draw the bat back. And with the infield supposedly shifting at all three positions, you're supposed to get a hole if you put the ball on the ground. But Oster didn't shift. He stayed right there, and they make the play easily.
So that'll bring up Jerome Wolf. Runners at second and third. The infield still in. The pitch. And they got him looking.
Now there's a dilemma for Lou Piniella. Hirschbeck and Jerome Walton going head-to-head. Hirschbeck, one of those guys that doesn't take a great deal. He's the man who booted Mariano Duncan, so Don Zimmer coming out to protect his leadoff hitter. But you've got first base open. You have red-hot Ryan Sandberg on deck. He's coming to bat, and a left-hander due up next.
Rhino with 5 home runs and now 17 RBIs. He has been dynamite, and so the decision has been made to go ahead and intentionally pass Ryan Sandberg and roll the dice with a left-handed swinging Mark Grace. Cincinnati native returning home, and he's doing a number on the home team, leading at 5-1 here in the top half of the 4th inning.
Tom, what is it about this very small area of the country that produces so many great Major League ball players, managers, general managers, and on as far as baseball is concerned?
Most people, Don Zimmer and Jim Fry, will tell you it's the coaching at the knothole level, the younger people. Grace takes a strike with the bases loaded. I mean, you can go down the list. Fry to Zimmer to Pete Rose, Dave Parker, Barry Larkin, Ron Oster here, Benzinger at first base.
Russ Nixon, Kent Tekulve, it goes on and on.
Yeah. 0-1 with 2 down. Here it comes. Swing and a miss on the inside part of the plate. And Burgess has jumped out in front with the bases swimming to Mark Grace, 0-2.
He had good movement on that fastball. It sunk out of sight. Grace thought he had it measured pretty well. But Burgess is showing a little more life on the fastball these days.
The big left-hander from the stretch in the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. No runs, 2 hits. 3 men left on. Middle of the 4th at Riverfront Stadium. Cubs in front, 5-1. Billy Hatcher, his first trip, struck out swinging. The pitch. And that is a fair ball down the left field line. Hatcher with great speed will go to second easily. Coming up with the ball is Smith, and a leadoff double for Billy Hatcher.
Billy Hatcher doing it all for Cincinnati early in the season. He drives the ball down the line. This was a supposed little deal by Bob Quinn, the general manager. He went to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he traded a fine young pitching prospect in Mike Ressler and a utility infielder in Jeff Richardson. And he got Billy Hatcher, and what a godsend he's been. He gives him exactly what Lou Piniella likes in his ball club, a lot of speed and a very aggressive ball player who once stole 53 bases for the Houston Astros.
Well, I think you'd probably have to say it's been the deal of the year for either league, as far as one player really putting up terrific numbers. Ron Oster, single to left field and then was forced at second in the second. Hatcher at second. Inside, ball one. Oster, of course, the once everyday second baseman, and he was very upset at Lou Piniella, who, after taking the job a week later, not having seen either player on an everyday basis, announced that Mariano Duncan would be the second baseman. Well, it's proved to be a good call, but Oster was not pleased.
When your new second baseman is hitting 400, though, you don't have much of a complaint, and Oster's just going to have to wait in line.
Oster, a native Cincinnati, as is Barry Larkin and Todd Benzinger. Actually, Benzinger from a little town just east, New Richmond, Ohio.
Oster's a man with a .264 lifetime batting average, but very few career home runs.
1-1 delivery. Gets away from Girardi, and Hatcher will move on to third base. Wild pitch. This will get a run home. Grace coming to the plate, and he is safe. You're not going to throw out Billy Hatcher coming to home plate.
That's a gamble you just don't want to make. You've got a 4-run lead. You want to stay out of the big inning. You've got one of the fastest men on the ball club at third base. And Mark Grace decides to gamble and loses the gamble. The throw is off the mark. He can't get a flying Hatcher coming home. And now Maddux in some trouble. There's the gamble. It doesn't work. And now it's a 3-run lead.
5-2 ball game, and here's the number 8 man, Jeff Reed. One of those left-handed hitting catchers. Always seems to be able to find a job.
You don't find many of those, and with that in mind, in the extended spring training, Damon Berryhill did catch 5 innings. That's good news for the Cubs.
Grace will go to second base. Should be able to turn it, but no, as Grace slipped. He slipped after he made the throw, trying to come back to first. And Dunston saw it and didn't bother to throw.
Cubs have made a couple of 3-6-3 double plays the last week. And here's a chance to make another one, but there's Mark Grace having his feet go out from under him, and Dunston not wanting to risk an error holding the ball, and that's a sign of maturity on the part of Sean Dunston. A few years back, he'd have rifled that ball. It might have wound up in the dugout with nobody covering first base. Now you just hold it.
2 down in the inning, and here's a pitcher, Bertzes. This is another area. You pointed out the 2-out base hits, something Cincinnati's done extremely well. You talk to people who see him every day, and they say fundamentally it's been a great team under Piniella.
Bertzes has not batted this year going into tonight's game, and so it's not easy to bunt against a guy throwing the ball 90 miles an hour.
0-2 again. He'll try, and this time he'll get it done. 2 down in the inning. Give Bertzes a sacrifice.
This is from the media relations department. Since Ryne Sandberg's last air, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Poland, Bulgaria, East Germany, and Romania have held free elections, and the Berlin Wall came tumbling down. NASA has launched 6 space shuttles with cargo, including the Galileo spacecraft, which went on to take pictures of Jupiter. The Hubble Space Telescope, which is currently taking pictures of the universe, and tomatoes for a controlled experiment. That piece of information about the long airless streak of Ryne Sandberg provided by Vicky Patriga and Chuck Wasserstrom. They had to call the State Department to get that information.
Runner at second base, 2 down for Chris Sabo, who's 0 for 2. And he hammers this ball deep to left field, off the wall. Coming in to score is Reed. Sabo into second base with an RBI. And it's now a 5-3 game. And this goes all the way back to the point you made about Grace coming to the plate on the ball with Billy Hatcher coming from third.
Anytime you give a team with this kind of offense extra outs in an inning, you're asking for trouble. It's RBI number 16. Nice play on the carom by Dwight Smith. But Sabo, who's having a wonderful start, continues pounding the baseball. That'll bring Don Zimmer out to the mound to talk with Maddux.
Nothing shaken in the bullpen right now for Don Zimmer's team. However, you have some pretty big bats coming up after Herm Winningham. Winningham, a guy, of course, who's on for Eric Davis. And that's probably as remarkable as anything that Cincinnati's done this season. The fact that they're 19-6, 13-3 on the road, but minus their best player.
Well, if you look at the numbers, Davis just didn't contribute all that much. He was hitting just 186 when he went down. He hit just 1 home run with 8 RBIs. And guys like Paul O'Neill, Chris Sabo, Barry Larkin, and surprisingly, Mariano Duncan, all pulling the load for Cincinnati.
Here's Winningham with Sabo at second base. Taking ball high. For Sabo, that is only his second hit in 14 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. The 88 Rookie of the Year who just edged out Cubs first baseman Mark Grace in the balloting. 1-0 pitch. Now 2-0.
The Mets for a while thought that Herman Winningham would be their everyday center fielder until they traded him to Montreal in the Gary Carter deal. Montreal thought he would play every day in center field. It hasn't worked out for him. But as a fifth player here in Cincinnati, they're getting a lot of mileage out of Herman Winningham.
That one's off the end of the fist. It'll bounce for a base hit. Sabo will come home to score. And it's now a one-run ball game in favor of the Cubs. RBIs in the inning from Oster, Sabo, and now Winningham.
Fourth RBI for Herman Winningham. Just gets enough, but to dump it into center field. Bullpen up and going now for Don Zimmer and the Cubs.
Well, as much as Sabo hates to hit against Maddux, it's a different ball game for Barry Larkin. He's now 9 for 18 against the Cubs right-hander, including a home run.
Winningham with 4 stolen bases in 4 attempts this year. Joining the rest of the running Reds, they have been outstanding on the base path.
Larkin a 7-game hitting streak and has 5 RBIs in those ball games. Already this season, 11 multi-hit games.
He says the last couple of weeks he's been lucky. They've been rained out. They've had off days, and he said he's not quite sure about his stroke at this point. It looks pretty good to me.
Maddux trying to get out of the inning. This should get him out. Walt with room and makes the catch. But the Reds come up with 3 runs on 3 base hits. They leave a runner after 4. The Cubs lead by 1. Here's a look at Eric Davis. Became the highest paid player in Reds history this off-speed season. The 3-year contract, $9 billion plus.
That's not bad. He also became the highest paid batting practice pitcher in history because he threw before the game today, much to the lament of most of the hitters.
Andre Dawson, a fly ball to right field. O'Neill will not get there. I saw a play last season. We were doing the game in Philadelphia. Exact same kind of ball with a runner at second base, and O'Neill kicked it to the first baseman. Never seen anything like it.
Well, I know one thing. He's not going to be diving anymore. Early in his career, he dove for a fly ball in right field, and he tore ligaments in his right thumb. Last year, he dove for a ball in right field, and he broke his left thumb. So I think he's going to play him on the hop from now on and keep on hitting.
I'm sure Piniella would like to see him get the body in front of it if he's going to short hop it that way. That ball goes to the wall. Dawson's got a triple.
This is a very lively ballpark in Cincinnati. It's 330 down the lines, 375 to the power alley, 404 to straightaway center field, but the ball jumps. And once again, Dawson very close to being picked off by the quick move of Burtzis.
Andre with a couple of stolen bases this season. Not one to run with a knee, you wouldn't suspect. But Burtzis is not going to take the chance of being surprised. 0-1 to Dwight Smith, and again, he may show bunt. He does. There goes Dawson. Throw down by Reed, and the Hawk can beat it by a mile. Third stolen base for Andre Dawson.
Andre Dawson got a great jump against Burtzis. This time, Tim elects not to go to first, and Dawson takes advantage of it. 3 for 3 this year, and Andre Dawson, realizing that only one player in the history of the game has 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases, and that's Willie Mays. he is bidding to become number 2.
That's not a bad man to be in company with.
13 more stolen bases, and he'll have that goal. I had the opportunity before the game to speak to your dad, who's been doing the radio here in Cincinnati for, what, 18 years? You guys have the same voice.
It's called genetics. I think. I've never been all that bright. Maybe they have another word for it.
I think it's called the same voice. I'm not sure. That might be the medical term, though.
Dr. Stone has a ring to him. You ever thought about it?
Just briefly.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That is Tim Burtz's 5th strikeout since coming on for Scott Scudder with 2 down in the first.
We talked about the unsung hero in middle relief, and tonight that award has got to go to Tim Burtz's, who came on in the first inning after Scott Scudder was battered by 3 home runs, and Burtz's has held the Cubs at bay. Allow his offense, which is high power, to get back in the game.
And the reason, quite honestly, Rick Baylor went to long relief was because Lou Piniella felt it was the only weak spot in his pitching rotation. Sabo will make the play. 2 down. Here comes a runner to third, and Dawson will beat him. Heads up base running by Andre Dawson.
You have a choice right there if you're a third baseman. You can hold the ball a while and take a look at Andre Dawson. But you don't know how long you can hold it with Wilkerson. Now, he just gave him the real quick look. And Dawson shows you his knees are 100%. This is aggressive heads-up base running. Now you can score on the pass ball or wild pitch. That's a fine play by Dawson.
And I don't think you can say it enough times, and we've brought it up dozens of times, the fact that Dawson looks so aggressive. Not only the way he's hitting the baseball, but an example right there of running and the way he's been able to track balls down in the outfield.
This is the last year of his contract, and Andre Dawson is a man with tremendous pride.
Here's Sean Dunston with 2 down and a runner at third. Strike 1 on the inside corner. Boy, that's the second pitch. And Mark Hirschbeck has called a strike, and Dunston is pondering the result of that call. Dunston by far and away, average and power numbers, the best start of his short career. Blossomed into the fine player the Cubs thought he would be last season. Has carried it over to 1990. Dawson at third. 2 down in the 2-1 pitch. Going back is O'Neill. He's got a beat on it, and that's the inning. No runs after a leadoff single from Dawson. 1 man left. Middle of the fifth. Cubs 5 and the Reds 4. Benzinger drops the leadoff single here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and Cincinnati has now chucked off its 9th hit of the ball game. Benzinger 2 for 3. He scored a run a little bit earlier, leads over at first base. And Paul O'Neill comes into the game with 22 runs knocked in. That's good enough for 5th in the league. In the dirt, 2-0. I think O'Neill might be one of the best unknown players in all of baseball. I say unknown because when you think of Cincinnati, Larkin or a Davis would come to mind, certainly first and second. But O'Neill last year in just 117 games drove in 74 runs. You mentioned that broken thumb that kept him out of action. Fly ball left field, Smith over towards the line. 1 away.
O'Neill's an example of a guy that's just starting to come of age at the major league level. He was drafted number 4, once again came through the Cincinnati organization. They knew about him because he lived just down the road in Columbus, where he played a little basketball. He seems to be getting better and better for the Reds, and he can provide the long ball, and certainly is one of the fine RBI men in the league.
Billy Hatcher 1 for 2, doubled and scored in the first.
We knew that he could run from his days with the Cubs, and knew that he could steal bases from his days with Houston. But Bob Quinn, the GM, said he's quite a leader on the ball club, that he came to this clubhouse and has a positive effect from the time he got here. So they feel that he's just the right man in the right spot for this team. And so far, he's turned in quite an early season performance.
And he left Pittsburgh, Steve, on a very good note. The Pirates knew he wasn't going to play. He knew he wasn't going to play with Bonilla going to the outfield. And they traded him to a team that had a chance to win. He was appreciative of that.
both Jim Leland and Larry Doty, the general manager in Pittsburgh, liked Billy Hatcher. And breaking into that outfield is something that's a near impossibility with the Pirates. They did him a favor. They got a pretty good young pitching prospect in Mike Ressler in the deal, and a guy who can pick it is Jeff Richardson.
1-1. Pitch out. There goes Benzinger. And the throw not even close. A busted hit run, it looked like.
The Cubs just fell asleep in the infield. Apparently, the only one in the infield who didn't know there was a pitch out was Condensed. Nobody covering second. Benzinger's got no speed at all. Only his second base of the year stolen. Now, he's the most surprised man in the world when he finds nobody at second. A mental mistake on the part of the Cubs.
Let's see if it comes back to hurt him. Runner at second base, 2-1 to Hatcher. Popped it up. Girardi coming back towards the screen, and
no play. He doesn't get it.
good try by the young Cubs catcher. Girardi is a gamer behind that plate. 2-2 now to Billy Hatcher. Benzinger at second base and only one away. And he struck him out. Foul tip into the mid of Girardi. Good pitch.
Cubs have found something out about Billy Hatcher. He's a lot more effective if he doesn't have to look at this slider. Watch the location of this one. It just disappears outside. It's a foul tip. Girardi hangs on. And Hatcher goes down on strike.
Ron Oster, 1 for 2 with an RBI. He was a man who hit the bouncing ball to first with Hatcher at third. Race tried to come to the plate and it wasn't in time. 1-0. Oster in the lineup for Mariano Duncan, serving a 1-game suspension for shoving an umpire. Mariano Duncan is the league's leading hitter. Foul ball.
Duncan said something interesting before the game, and he feels it's one of the reasons why he's off to such a hot start. He said in Los Angeles he had a lot of guys telling him how to hit. He said every day in the dugout, Tommy Lasorda would tell him something. Then Joe Ferguson would tell him something. Manny Mota would make a suggestion, and Ben Hines, the hitting instructor, would tell him something else. He said he was being pushed and pulled in all different directions. But coming over here to Cincinnati, he said Tony Perez is the man who told him to bring his hands down, get him away from his body. And that's the one man he listens to, and that's the reason he's hitting .400 and leading the league.
Tony Perez, the only survivor from the Pete Rose regime. Fouled back. Count goes to 1-2.
I think the most amazing thing, if you look at the numbers of Mariano Duncan, is the fact that he's shown great power over here in Cincinnati. And he credits that to putting on 10 or 11 pounds in a weightlifting program in the wintertime.
Well, he is really put together. I mean, the 10 or 11 pounds almost look like 15 or 20 on him, all in the upper body. He struck him out. Good work by Greg Maddux. Back-to-back Ks after a leadoff hit from Todd Benzinger. We go to the 6th. Still a 5-4 Cubs lead. Joe Girardi, fair ball down the left field line. Over to cut it off is Hatcher, but Girardi will go into second base with a leadoff double.
If they're going to get to Tim Burtsis, it's going to be this inning, because Burtsis only had 10 1/3 innings pitched total this year coming into today. He's in his 5th inning of relief. This is a slider that Girardi does not allow to get down and in.
Well, tonight's scoreboard stumper. 5 Chicago Cubs have 200 or more career home runs. Can you name them?
I can now because it's up on the board. I don't know if I could have before.
Popped up. Burtsis, a good play. And Girardi not advancing on to third base.
If you're a base runner in this situation, you can't move when the ball is in the air on the bunt. And that's a good base running play by Joe Girardi. If he does run and Burtsis comes up with this, he runs into a double play. Rick Mailer now throwing in the bullpen.
Well, you want to pass along the answer for our viewers at home?
Go get him.
Bill Nicholson.
Yes.
Gabby Hartnett.
I remember Gabby well. Don't forget Ernie.
Billy Williams.
Billy.
And our old buddy next door.
Ron Santo, 350 some odd home runs. How about that, sportsman? Rick Mailer trying to make that conversion from the starting rotation to the bullpen. Last year he started 31 games for the Reds, but as you get a little older and you find talented youngsters in the rotation, you've got to take a step backwards and move to the pen if you're going to stay around. Rick Mailer's name mentioned in a lot of trade talks all around the National League.
Well, Mailer, a real team player. Obviously, he's not happy about being sent to the bullpen, but at the same time, he'd like a chance for the first time in a long while to play in a National League Championship Series. Girardi will tag up and move on to third on the fly ball to right from Walton. 2 down.
This is a game of nuances, and it's a game where if you don't execute, more times than not, you have to pay the price. Now, if Maddux lays the bunt down and they move along Girardi, it's a 2-run lead. But by not doing that, suddenly you find yourself needing something to happen to get this run home. And with that in mind, Lou Piniella's coming out. That's going to be it for Burgess. It's going to be Rick Mailer in a flip-flop batting order for Lou Piniella.
Piniella going to have to check in with the umpire. He forgets about that coming over to the National League, but he gets it squared away. 2 down, a runner at third base.
Luis Quinones comes in to play second base. He'll hit in the 9th spot for Lou Piniella. Rick Mailer will occupy the number 7 spot vacated by Ron Oster. Mailer comes into the ball game at 1-0. The ERA 4.58 on for the 6th time. 3 of those starts. 17 2/3 innings. He's given up 9 earned runs on 1 homer. Walked 4, fanned 6. His best pitch, probably an overhand breaking ball. His fastball not overpowering. He made 31 starts last year for the Reds.
And he'll face Sandberg with a runner at third base. The pitch. Breaking ball away. 1-0. Rhino. 1 for 2. 2-run home run in the first. Line to deep left center field in the second. Was intentionally walked in the fourth. Girardi 90 feet away from the 6th run. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Mailer, a guy who gives up a lot of base hits.
Last year he did for the Reds what he's done for so many other clubs before that. Pitched 200+ innings.
And I think he's done that for like 8 or 9 seasons in a row now. Came over from Atlanta as a free agent prior to the 1989 season. And his 9-13 record was much better than those numbers would indicate. The Reds didn't score any runs when he started, but now he's on in relief. 2-1 pitch. Going to be a tough play. And Mailer did not get him at first base. Base hit for Rhino.
The bad break on the part of the Cubs was the fact that Rhino did not hit this ball hard enough for Joe Girardi to score. The play was right in front of Girardi. A big argument at first base with Piniella arguing with John McSherry. It appeared that Sandberg was safe. It looked like a very good call. Reed comes out. He can't make the play. Mailer does. And Sandberg at least tied the throw. So that's a good call.
And Lou Piniella really giving John McSherry an earful. Piniella is a guy who is known for his temper, but has not displayed it in a Cincinnati Reds uniform yet, at least not until right now.
Well, he'll find if this keeps up that they will give him the heave-ho equally as quickly in the National League as they did in the American League. So far, looks like things calming down. And we'll watch it one more time. Mailer making a good play. Girardi only a third of the way down the line. Let's watch Lou Piniella leap out of the dugout as soon as the call is made. Lou never moved that fast when he was playing. I remember Lou. I pitched against him. He couldn't steal a base if they gave him a lead halfway. But he's quick now.
There goes Sandberg. Breaking ball, and Reed won't even let it go. Boy, that was a great shot. Arnie Harris and our crew here in Cincinnati. Wonderful work. That was terrific. Mark Grace had a chance with the bases loaded in the fourth, but Burtz has struck him out. Here he has runners at second and third and 2 down. And that hit it. Whoa. And that is scary when it gets up around your head. Mark appears to be shaken up, but okay. Well, here comes Andre Dawson. 2 for 3. A solo home run in the first. 1-0 delivery. And he popped it up. Todd Benzinger in fair territory. Makes the catch for the second time tonight. The Cubs have left him loaded. No runs, 2 hits, 3 left. Middle of the 6th. The Cubs lead 5-4. Bottom of the 6th inning we go. Jeff Reed leads it off. And White Smith in left field hauls it in 1 away.
Louis Quinones inserted in the 9th spot in the flip-flop batting order steps up. He had 244 for the Reds last year with 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. And he's not getting a whole lot of work. Only 19 at-bats this year.
Pitch taken a strike.
Check that, he had 12 home runs last year with 34 RBIs.
Waves through that one, and Maddux jumps ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. Quinones at 263 batter. Has driven in 6 runs on the year. Greg Maddux. Not his best stuff by any means tonight, but he's certainly the kind of pitcher that can win without it. He'll take care of Quinones. 2 up and 2 down quickly in the 6th.
One word that keeps coming up every time we hear about Greg Maddux is the fact that he's a battler. He's going to have to battle tonight. He's facing a red-hot lineup, and he doesn't have the great stuff as illustrated by the fact that he only had 1 strikeout until fanning the last 2 in the 5th inning.
Chris Sabo, 1 for 3. Doubled homer run his last trip in the 5th inning. Sabo ranks among the National League leaders in 11 offensive departments. The pitch. High, ball 1.
Sabo said that he was turning on his front foot and opening up too much. And Tony Perez and Lou Piniella picked that out. He was hitting on his heels. Now they have him on a raised front foot, and he keeps that foot in there.
Well, if you take a look at his front foot as he steps back in the box, you'll see him lift his toe up a little bit to make sure his weight is on his toe rather than his heel.
And that's what he says enables him now with a closed stance to generate a little more power.
This will reach the seats, and the count goes to 1 ball. And 2 strikes on Sabo.
It was a relative down year for him, hitting just 260 last year. He felt he was a better hitter than that. And by pulling off everything because of spinning on the heel and being back on his heels when he approached the ball, he just wasn't getting out of himself what he thought he should. And it's funny, just a little thing like that, changing the weight from the heels to the front of the foot, makes all the difference in the world if you look at his start.
It's just that little movement in the left foot that reminds him to keep on his toe down the right field line. And a fan got a hand on it. Sabo, the guy Pete Rose nicknamed Spuds McKenzie.
When he takes off that helmet with those glasses, they look a little like Spuds. There it is. The great foot shot here in Cincinnati.
The agony of defeat. I'm starting to pick up you and Arnie's trades now. 1-2 delivery. And it evens up. 2s are wild with nobody on here in the 6th. Sabo was an outstanding hockey player.
He was a goalie. Looks like he's still got his glasses from those days.
Did well, but Walton is there. Over toward his left and hauls it in. That's the inning. 1-2-3 for Maddux.
Hello again, everybody. With Thom Brennaman to Steve Stone, Harry Caray. Back from Cincinnati, Dwight Smith leads off. Pitches in there, a strike call. And he quickly is in the hole. 0-2. A bouncing ball, easy out, Quinones. He's 1 away. Boy, oh boy, the chances the Cubs have let slip away. They have stranded 7 men in the last 3 innings. Twice they had the bases loaded. Each time they've led off with hits in the inning, but haven't scored since the first.
The relief has been brilliant. 5 innings out of Tim Burgess, and now Rick Mailer on for him.
A little soft tapper. Nothing to it. Easy out. And then we'll bring up Sean Duxton.
Piniella, the man that most people credit with instilling a new attitude in his ball club. Players figure that there's a lot less pressure on him this year. Lou Piniella has turned everything around here. This ball club off to a great start.
There's a high pop fly. That'll end the inning. Barry Larkin. 1, 2, 3. We go in the bottom of the 7th. Cubs still lead 5-4. There's Margie Schott, the owner of the Reds, talking with movie star Gregory Hines. We go in the bottom of the 7th. They have all the good hitters coming up. Herm Winningham with 2 out of 3. He fouls it back, and he had a good pitch to hit. Winningham was a little unhappy with himself. You notice the way he kind of flipped the bat around. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wilkerson should throw him out, and 1 away. And here is Barry Larkin. Greg Maddux hasn't even had 3 full years in the major league. If he wins this game, he will have already won 50 games in the major league. He's won 37 the last 2 years alone. Larkin took a strike call.
A lot of people don't realize that only 2 pitchers in all the major leagues have won more the last 2 years than Maddux. Dave Stewart with 42 wins and Arl Hershiser with 38.
There's a ground ball foul. 0-2 the count. Bottom of the 7th. Bouncing ball. Sandberg over the first. And then for Sandberg is the 550th chance in a row without an error.
Rhinos played 41 games here at Riverfront Stadium. He made an error only in his first game that he ever played here. He's been flawless since.
Todd Bensinger with 1 home run. Joe Oliver, who was hurt earlier in the game, the x-rays taken of his knuckle were negative. He has a contusion on his right knuckle. I imagine he'll miss a few days.
He got hit pretty hard. I'm sure it's swollen and puffy, but fortunately nothing broken.
He swings and he misses a breaking ball.
The Reds getting some good news in the pitching department. Danny Jackson, who took a line drive off his pitching elbow early in this season, will throw in a rehab at AAA Nashville on Sunday. They're expecting to have him back in the not-too-distant future.
And Girardi wants to talk to Greg Maddux. High inside fastball.
Or he might have said, remember the pitch that went to Mark Grace up and in. This might be a good time to use it.
You don't have to remind Maddux of that. He likes to do that. Ground ball to shortstop. Dunston. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. At the end of 7, 5-4. Cubs. Caray back at the ballpark. The first pitch, Girardi bounces out to Larkin. Girardi led off the 6th with a double, but could not score. Grace led off the 3rd with a double, could not score. Dunston and Girardi led off the 4th with base hits, nobody out, could not score. Dawson led off the 5th with a base hit and stole 2nd, but couldn't score. Here's Maddux, 0 for 3. That evens the count. There's a fastball in there.
When Danny Jackson does come back to the starting rotation, the Reds will have one of the most valuable of all commodities to trade, and that's a starting pitcher, and it could be the man you're looking at, Rick Mailer.
Struck him out. A fastball over the outside corner. That's 6 in a row retired by Mailer. And the Reds, early inning relief has been outstanding. Versus held the Cubs without a run for 5 innings. And now Mailer. Here's Jerome Walton.
Mailer has been dependable over the years, if not spectacular. He usually throws over 200 innings.
Mailer out of Austin, Texas. Started with Atlanta. 79. Curve outside. 2 balls and a strike. His biggest year in the big leagues, he won 17 in 85. 3 balls and the strike. Ball 4. And here's Sandberg. There's Mitch Williams starting to warm up in the bullpen.
And there's Rob Dibble. The ominous presence of Rob Dibble. What a bullpen the Reds have, with Dibble leading the parade with about 98-mile-an-hour bullets.
Oh, that wave. That's my pet peeve about baseball.
I can't stand it either. And I don't think Arnie likes it one bit.
2 out, a runner at first. Come on, Rhino. He homered to start the ball game with 1 on base in the first. His 5th homer of the year. Safe.
You're going to get a run. You want to get it off Mailer. Dibble in 12 appearances has not given up a run yet. He has a 0.00 earned run average.
1 ball, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes.
Here's the whopping statistic that jumps out at you. 29 strikeouts in just 16 2/3 innings for Rob Dibble.
Boy, they got some heat in their bullpen. There goes the runner, another stolen base. Oh, safe. He was going to call him out. Boy, that would have precipitated another tremendous argument. But the throw was not held anyhow.
Charlie Williams had the arm up. Jerome Walton swipes base number 6. Now watch the arm of Williams. As the ball disappears, Williams calls out, then he realizes the ball is not in the glove of Quinones. That's a good break for the Cubs. Walton dead to rights, but he slides hard enough, and I think it's going to go as an error on Quinones. The caught stealing in an E4 on Quinones.
3 balls, no strike. He walked him. And here's Grace.
I got to believe that Mark Grace is going to face Rob Dibble. I don't think that Lou Piniella is going to let this one get out of reach by letting Mailer face Grace. Let's see if Reed is just out on the mound killing some time before Piniella comes out. He wants to make sure Dibble is nice and ready.
And here comes Piniella. And Grace is going to have to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Unless they bring in the left-hander, not Dibble, and they are going to bring in the left-hander. Thom will be back following this message. Norm Charlton is going to be their new pitcher. He's only struck out 28 men in 17 innings of relief.
Carlton comes in at 1-0. The ERA 3.12 on for the 13th time. He's walked 13 men, however, in 17 1/3 innings. So perhaps the control hasn't quite been there. Last year, in 69 appearances, Charlton fastened a 2.93 ERA and was 8-3 for the Reds.
Ground ball to the shortstop will end the inning. Thom's first pitch is hit on the ground. Two more men are left on. We go to the bottom of the eighth. Cubs still leading 5-4. First pitch sharply to right for a base hit. So the tying run is on.
Paul O'Neill with a couple of hits gets a low fastball and drives it into right field. Mitch Williams loosening up. And with a right-hander up, Thom Zimmer will probably let Maddux face Hatcher.
He has struck out Hatcher twice, but the other time Hatcher started a 3-run rally with a double to left. Line drive! Double safe the first one. Boy, oh boy, Zimmer's going to argue about that. John McSherry. Let's see that play again, Arnie.
Looked like Paul O'Neill hurt himself on the line drive. Grace got his feet tied up, but it looked like Sandberg got to throw there in time. O'Neill's still down. He might have jammed his hand or something. And we'll watch it one more time. He goes back with the left hand. He's out by plenty.
Holy cow.
John has not had a very good night at first base. Lou Piniella most upset, but this one was obvious. He was out by plenty coming back to the bat.
You're going to have to change your mind about the call, so it'll be much too late. Look at this. Now watch it. Look where his hand is. Can you imagine that?
Ken Griffey is coming out to pinch hit. Griffey hitting .308, 2 for 6 with 2 RBIs as a pinch hitter.
And here comes Thom Zimmer back. I think Mitch Williams will be brought in here.
0-2. The ERA 1.13. On for the 13th time, looking for save number 7. Trying to nail down the 5th win for Greg Maddux. 16 innings, giving up only 8 hits, 2 earned runs on 1 homer. He's walked 10. He's fanned 15. And they're going to go with Ken Griffey.
And Griffey, 40-year-old veteran, whose 20-year-old son, Ken Griffey Jr., is an outstanding player in the American League for Seattle. Base hit and the tying and winning runs are on base. Griffey singled him up.
Joe Oliver started this game, had to leave when he was hit by a foul tip. So that means that the only catcher for the Reds, Jeff Reed, will have to hit from the left side against Mitch Williams. And the Cubs get their bullpen out.
Exactly 111 for the year going into the ballgame. Quinones batting for the second time. Swings and he misses.
Infield a double play depth. They set at the corners. And if you get a ball at third or first, you got to come home with it.
Les Lancaster working in the bullpen. bring up Chris Zabel, who's 1 out of 4.
The Cubs 1 out away from getting out of this mess.
Zabel doubled in a run in the 4th. Strike called over the outside corner. Dawson playing it rather shallow and right.
Lou Piniella screaming at Mark Hirschbeck behind the plate.
1 strike to nothing. A high pop fly. Wilkerson near the stands, out of play. You think managing's easy? That man lives and dies 1,000 times every night. And so does the other man in the other dugout. 0-2. Jose Martinez trying to move Dwight Smith towards left center.
He doesn't figure Sabo to get around on Mitch Williams' fastball. He's moving him into the gap.
2 out, bases loaded. Cubs lead by 1. 5-4. Line drive. Nobody can get this one. 1 run in. 2 runs in. 3 runs in. Sabo doubles to center. Clearing the bases.
4th RBIs of the night. Chris Sabo giving him 19. They moved over Smith, but they didn't think that he'd hit the ball that far in the gap. Walton playing straight away and shallow as the ball rifled to left center field.
And the Reds now lead 7-5. Nice play. Sandberg throws him out. Sandberg makes a great play on Whittingham's man, but 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 man left. At the end of 8, the Reds lead 7-5. And this is Rob Dibble on the mound, going for his 5th save. Fastball is high. He throws it over 100 miles an hour.
6'4", 235. And he usually gets mighty pumped up coming into these games.
Strike ball. The line drive double play, which was missed by the umpire, John McSherry, can be pointed to now as costing you the ball game. Fouls it back out of play.
Andre Dawson, one of the few Cubs that can tune it up, get around on the fastball of Dibble, who's on for the 13th time. 29 strikeouts in 16 and 2/3 innings.
Dawson with a count of 1-2. Round base hit, maybe. It is. Sort of a half swing, and he singled to center.
Randy Myers up and throwing in the bullpen. So we might see the threesome tonight. Charlton, for 1/3 of an inning, stands to win this game if the Reds can nail it down. And the trio of Charlton, Dibble, and Myers, very formidable out of that bullpen.
Boy, oh boy, the inability to get Jeff Reed. There's another hit, and Smith singles the center. Runners on now at first and second. And here comes Curtis Wilkerson. Double play ball. Quinones out at second. Out at 4-6-3. Sends it up to Dunson. Perfect double play ball.
The one thing you couldn't afford was the double play. The Reds don't turn a lot of them. They're last in the National League in this department. But Larkin comes across. Smith can't get a piece of him, and they turn two. Pushed off the bag, got out of the way of Dwight Smith, and turned it.
Well, if Dunson connects with that fastball, he'll tie it up. The Cubs got 5 in the first and nothing but goose eggs since. Easy ground ball. This game is over. Betzinger on a system. The Cincinnati Reds come storming from behind to beat the Chicago Cubs 7-5. Norm Charlton, who made one pitch, turns out to be the winner. We'll be back with the total in a moment. The Budweiser playing the game with the bases loaded, 2 out, Cubs leading 5-4. Chris Sabo lines the double to the center field wall. All 3 runners score and turned a possible 5-4 Cincinnati defeat into a 7-5 victory. The Budweiser play of the game. Here are the totals for the victorious Reds. 7 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors. Norm Charlton, who made 1 pitch, the winner. He's now 1-2 and lost none. Rob Dibble to save his 5th of the year for the Cubs, who scored all 5 of the runs in the very first inning and squandered numerous chances to add in later innings 5 runs to the Cubs. 12 hits, no errors. The losing pitcher, Mitch Williams, he now has won none and lost 3. With Thom Brennaman and Steve Stone, this is Harry Caray from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, where the Reds came from behind to beat the Cubs 7-5. So long, everybody. Stay tuned now for the news, which will follow immediately. Cubs baseball is produced and directed by Arnie Harris. Our coordinating producer is Bill Borson. The final score was Cincinnati Reds 7, the Chicago Cubs 5. Our next telecast will be tomorrow night, when the Cubs take on the Reds at 6 p.m. Chicago time here on Channel 9. Harry Caray from Cincinnati. So long, everybody.